welcome to lesson number 2 in your white belt 5-minute money mentor. I'm on a jet headed to my farm. Say hello.
Hi guys.
All right, here's what you got to know. What you must know. Pretending you're my 18-year-old self. Lesson 1 was about being consistent, slow and steady, not trying to go too fast, not over making it sound too easy, but don't make it sound too hard. Slow and steady, you'll be fine. Okay? I'm calling you Ty Jr., remember that. What's lesson 2? Lesson 2 is extremely simple. Extremely simple. If there's a great book out there, if you want to read this book, it's called The Self-Made Billionaire Effect. So if we're going to study, if you want to learn to make more money, you might as well learn from the best. People have made hundreds of millions or even billions of dollars. Self-Made Billionaire Effect says the number 1 skill when they did a study of the wealthiest people in the world was sales. 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 Say this to yourself. Remember I said your first tattoo should say, I'm consistent. Number 2 should say, I'm a selling machine. Mark Cuban, you may have seen the video on YouTube when he was over at my house. He's worth $3 billion, he's a star Shark Tank, all that, owns the basketball team. I asked him, I said, if you lost all your money, and you had to start all over, what would you do? And he said, I'd hit the phones, I'd go door to door, I'd start selling something. Anything. If you're broke, truly broke, go into sales and try different things. Try to sell vacuum cleaners. You could try to sell real estate if you want. Real estate's a little tricky. I would do something simpler. I know some guys that sell solar energy packages, like solar panels for your house. I know kids, they come to my house, they're 18 years old, they're making $10, $20, $30,000 a month in commissions. Best advice I ever got from someone in my family, no one in my family had ever made $1 million. My Uncle Bill said, when I was broke sleeping on a couch, he said, Ty, if you don't have a great college degree, if you don't have Harvard, all this, you don't have any money to start, he said, you got to go to commissions. He said, sell cars. There was a girl who came to my house, did an interview. She was 21, making $50,000 a month selling cars in LA. And here's the good news. Even if you don't want to be in sales forever, the richest people in the world consistently had a sales job at some point in their life. It's a stepping stone. Stepping stone. Welcome to this lesson. This lesson is called The Business Model. Now, there's a book called the J Curve. It's about entrepreneurship, how you grow a business. And one of the 6 steps, they call it the J Curve of business, is perfecting the business model. And so I want you to understand from day 1 what the general business model is, and it's this. You will acquire 1 to 10 customers who pay you a monthly fee of $1,000 to $5,000 a month, automated. You know, if you sign them up on the 15th of the month, then on the 15th of the month, they can cancel at any time with 30-day notice. So you're not necessarily going to try to lock people in. The world we live in now, people don't generally like to be locked in for too long, and it's easier to acquire clients if you tell them cancel anytime. If you do your job well, not many people will cancel anyway. You're always going to lose some, but I'm going to show you a way how to acquire new customers. So with just an iPhone, with just some internet connection, you're going to get 1 to 10 small businesses around the world. They could be local. You could connect with them in other countries through the internet, through email. You're going to get them to sign up a $1,000 to $5,000 monthly retainer, and your goal is to get a 6-figure income. So the goal is to be making $8,000 a month. If you already know how to do that, then you can keep going up, but that's the goal. First goal is to get $1,000 a month, your first paying client in this program. So the basic business model is that. And then, so that's the benefit to you. You've got 1 to 10 customers giving you, $1,000 to $10,000 a month, right? The benefit to them is you're going to help them get more paying customers. That's your obsession for them. Remember, you always want to live 50% selfishly for yourself and 50% for the benefit of others. That's the best ratio I've ever found in life that balances me being able to take care of myself and me being able to not be selfish and help other people. So that's your basic mental business model.
1 to 10 people paying you $1,000 to $5,000 a month so that you can get a 6-figure income. On this side, you're obsessed with getting them more paying customers. And the way you're gonna do that is by using the internet and social media. So you're gonna give them, you're gonna meet with business owners either in person or through connecting with them on the phone or email. And I'm gonna show you how to do that with simple scripts.
Did a seminar. Number 4, master reading people. Like some of you, I've shown how to be good. To be a master, you probably have to at least test 10,000 people. I've probably tested 100,000 personally over years. But if you can at least get to 1,000, you can be able to read people. Now, what's the advantage of reading people? The advantage is some of you are going to learn how to make, like Jaden is here. Where is Jaden? So Jaden's here 1 year ago. He's one of my first students in one of my programs, How to Make Money Using Internet, Social Media. It's called the Social Media Marketing Agency. How many people are in that? So I think he's making the most. He's like the star, outstanding. There's a couple people making a ton of money. A lot of people making good money, but he just passed, I think, $147,000 a month or something like that. 1 year ago, he had never had a bank account, living at his parents' house. So he's grown very quickly, go from 0 to 145,000. So I told him, and I've already seen some things that I've warned him about. What happens when you make a lot of money fast? You spend it. How do other people begin to treat you? The same? You think you grow up in the ghetto and then you become LeBron James? That all your friends are just like the same? No, what people come out of the woodwork. I'm your cousin. You don't remember me? I'm your 8th cousin, 6 times removed. I did our DNA test, right? That's what starts to happen. If you don't know how to read people, I've already seen this a teeny bit with Jaden, you start losing your money because you send it to the wrong people. When you learn how to read people, it rarely happens. I've had 13 business partners and 0 horror stories. Anybody here ever have a horror story with anybody else in business? Yeah. Master reading people. Practical, you can write this down. This is number 5. This is more advanced, but I'm going to give you guys some advanced. I created a system. It's my own system called PACE. It's what I use. It's based on as much science as I could find. I'm going to continue to work on scientifically validating it, but it's pretty valid. PACE, practical, action, social, emotional. 4 main vibes that people give off.
Strategy. So I'm going to give you the strategy. So, for instance, let's say we're doing a bow giveaway. All of you can go to my wife's Facebook page and see that like a week or 2 ago, we did another hair bow giveaway. 150 hair bows we gave away. Doesn't seem like much, but it reached 130,000 people. It collected 1,100 emails, or 12, I think it was over 1,200 emails actually. And more importantly, it collected about 1,000 new subscribers in Facebook Messenger. Okay, how many of you using Messenger bots for your business? Not very many people. It should be everybody here. Okay, because this is the next level that I didn't get a chance to teach in the SMA course that you're getting here. So, this is how we increase sales. So we got add to contest, win, okay? This is win. Win what? For, let's say it was the hair bows. Doesn't matter what it is you're giving away, but it needs to be something big and special, right? So to her audience, 150 hair bows is like awesome. It costs her like $20 total wholesale cost, but the value to somebody getting 50 bows, there's actually 3 winners, 50 bows each. For them, it's like 10 times 50, it's like a $500 value, or up to. It's tremendous for her audience. For some people, it might be a trip for, for one of the restaurants that I've steak in, which is Yummy Pig in Leesburg. We gave away, during Cinco de Mayo week, we gave away a trip to Mexico, right? A 2-day trip to Mexico, which made sense and it performed better than free burgers for a year. And it actually costs less because we got one of those 2 nights deals. It's like 2 nights, but it's probably going to get pitched on some sort of timeshare. I don't know, right? Okay. So, but here's the next level part of the strategy where you can increase sales. So it's, hey, win the hair bows. People put in their email. So you're collecting an email. So we're building the database. This is the goals, the objectives of the sorry, I'm not good at holding a microphone while doing this. So build database, right? Build a list. Let's just do list. That's number one. Then when they go to the thank you page, guess what the thank you page says? Hey, thanks for participating. Click here and get 40% off anything in our online store till Friday only. That's the deadline. Use coupon code at the time I think it was take 40, right?
Marketing agency Wyeth Investment Holdings. I do business as drpatientfinders.com. Currently, I have 8 clients doing $25,000 a month and growing. And the reason why this is important is because I want you guys to know that I was in your shoes literally back in my business, have really allowed me to not only free up my time, but feel at peace of mind when I'm able to travel. And I think that's a really good concept that most traveling CEOs understand, is making sure that the business is still being taken care of while you're away from home, right? And so in order for us to be able to travel really well, we have to be able to count on those critical responsibilities and those key personnel who are going to be handling those business tasks while we're traveling. So these are going to be your virtual assistants. Now, these aren't going to be the people who will do everything for you in your business, but they are skilled enough to handle more of the mundane manual tasks. We'll be getting into those in a couple of minutes here, but what I want you guys to focus on now is first the price, right? Most entrepreneurs, we don't understand exactly when we're getting into this industry how much things are going to cost us, right? We think that it might be expensive, it's scary, it's unknown. So what I wanted to talk to you guys about in this initial session is how much a virtual assistant is going to cost you.
Here we go. All right, welcome to the next of the 67 steps, the frameworks, guidelines, principles that you need to get what you want out of life: health, wealth, love, and happiness. So, call this one. It's going to be a little controversial one here, so don't get too mad at me if you don't agree. Remember, I have the rule: anybody can disagree with me, but you got to be able to back it up. Whatever I say, I try my best to back it up. As long as you do the same, I never get offended. All right. I call this Elon Musk's 14-hour workday versus the 4-hour work week. The myths of our time. So I believe if you are an entrepreneur, or even not an entrepreneur, and this is not to pick on any one author, any one book, I just call it that because there's this idea out there in the sphere of thinking that you can build something very efficiently, outsource the hard parts, and just be left with the stuff you love all day, and through the power of magic, I guess, you will accomplish a lot. I call BS on that. Elon Musk, who I got invited to this little private talk he did here in Hollywood, or in Los Angeles, actually Santa Monica. And he came in and he said, and by the way, if you don't know who he is, billionaire, worth $7 billion, the only man alive right now who started 3 companies from scratch that are each valued over $1 billion. Tesla, the electric car company, SpaceX, putting people in outer space, and I forget the name of his solar company. So he has a solar company. And then, yeah, PayPal was what he did before. So he's one of the co-founders of PayPal, sold it. I think he said he made about $100 million. Took that money. Interesting enough, he said in that talk, he said he put it all into these new businesses, and he said at the end of the day, he was left with no cash in the bank. He had invested all $100 million in this building spaceships. Coincidentally, is expensive, if you didn't know. So he said I had to borrow rent money, which is a pretty interesting place to be after you have $100 million in your bank account, and then you're like, how much is left? I need to borrow rent, but that was him. He was borrowing rent money. But more importantly, he has this quote that I love. He says, if you work 100 hours a week when everybody else is working 40, you'll accomplish in a few months, 2, 3, 4 months, what takes the average person a year. So how did he have such impact in the world? Real lasting impact. It's not just about money, right? And for the most part, if you make your money ethically, money is a representation of reciprocal altruism. So the reason he has $7 billion, which is more than I have, it's because he's added more altruistic value to the world than I have.